Hi, everyone, and welcome to our Sunday show. This looks a little different because it is a little different. For one thing, I'm holding our microphone, and usually this is suspended out of the screen above us.
And we're in a gazebo.
We're in a gazebo in Norwich, New York, which is in upstate New York. And our hope, well, first of all, it's the Colorscape Shenango Free Arts Festival that happens every year. It didn't happen last year, but it's happening again this year. And so we're not in our usual apartment with our usual setting. So that's kind of fun and exciting. And our intention was to broadcast our Sunday show to you live. But we were a little concerned. We didn't know what the internet connection was going to be in it. And on arriving at the festival site, we realized there was absolutely no internet connection here. So what we did was we went to Plan B, which was to tape our Saturday show and then live stream it on Sunday. And that's what you're about to see. So the stream will still sort of feel like a live stream in that you'll be able to chat in real time, but the show was taped yesterday. Little disclaimer. At the end of the show, we're going to tell you about our very special theme for next week's show. So you want to stay tuned for that. And we're also going to have a trivia contest this episode. And that's in the body of the concert. So that's going to be fun. And but we're going to start off with a very special feature that we decided to do. And what we did, I walked around the festival site with my camcorder and I recorded a tour of the Colorscape Shenango Festival, so you'll get a sense of what this very unique festival is all about. So you want to start with that?
Yeah, let's go.
All right, let's all go to the Colorscape Shenango Festival. Welcome to the Colorscape Shenango Arts Festival.
Yeah, put it down there, and once again, run off the front of the stage.
Colorscape is a free annual festival of the visual and musical arts. It happens every autumn on the town square in the village of Norwich in central New York State. On the eve of the weekend-long event, stagehands are rigging cables while dozens of artists, in both traditional and innovative media, are putting the final touches on their display booths. Each tent-enclosed booth is a mini art gallery, and visitors can spend a lovely full day browsing or checking out the music on stage. Admission is free, so come on out. Our set is just about to begin. Thanks for joining us at the 2021 Colorscape Shenango Arts Festival, and special thanks to Creative Director Ken Millay.
I got one extra. I have one extra.
Welcome to Colorscape Shenango Arts Festival. This is our 27th year and my 23rd. And Pete and Mara and Vance were here with me on the first year, along with Mustard's Retreat. And so also, please, when the performers come out into the crowd, which they always do, please refrain from hugging and that sort of thing, because they have to tour for a living, and social distancing is really important, at least this year. Maybe next year we'll be back to hugging and
Next
loving.
year we'll hug.
We want to hug you, but we can't.
Yeah.
Next year will be the hugging year.
All right, so the festival requested that Night Eagle Cafe, when we were in Oxford, help out with the main stage back in 1999. And we've been doing it ever since. And once again, one of the acts that helped me out those first years and ever since has been the Kennedys. And the Kennedys are an act I love. I mean, I love their music and I love them as people. It's a different thing. But we go back a ways. I had an experience with Pete many years ago, before we had any idea that today would be happening. And Pete will tell you about that. But we had we were talking when the Kennedys first started coming to the Night Eagle to play. And Mara was telling me about her experience auditioning for Nancy Griffin. And Nancy Griffin's backup singer and second guitar was Iris DeMint, and she had left for a solo career. And Pete was playing in the band, in Nancy Griffin's band. So when Mara heard about it, that Iris had left, she went out and got every Nancy Griffin album
I
there
already
was.
had all of her albums. I was already a big fan.
But over the course of a weekend, she learned every song so she could audition for the band and be with Pete. She loved Nancy, but she wanted to be with Pete.
I had my ulterior motives.
Which I fell in love with them right then and there. So anyway, let's welcome the Kennedys back to Colorscape Chenango.
Hey, Colorscape. I knew a man, he never went very far. He had a hollow in his soul, a hollow in his heart. He'd come home every night and turn on the TV. Oh, but he ain't nothing like you or me. He ain't nothing like you or me. Life is large, bigger than the both of us. Hey, life is large, all you need is just a little trust. Be yourself and stand your ground. Don't you let nobody turn you around. Life is large. I knew a woman, she lived in our town. Well, she had a bad situation and nearly took her down. Ooh, and then one day, I guess it just got old. Yeah, where she packed her bags and hit the road, filled the tank and took control. Life is large, bigger than the both of us. Hey, life is large, all you need is just a little trust. Be yourself and stand your ground. Don't you let nobody turn you around. Life is large. Only got one chance to walk this line. And if you should get lost or stuck in time, oh yeah, now just believe this road does not end here. to be remembered. A raging fire or a dying ember. Come on, sing along. Life is large, yeah, bigger than the focus. Hey, life is large. All you need is just a little trust. Be yourself and stand your ground. Don't you let nobody turn you around. Life is large. Hey, life is large. Life is large. Life is large. Yeah, yeah. Thank you, Shenango. It's so great to be back here. It was a rainy night in Texas. The river was running high. Anyone with any sense was inside, staying dry. The rain came down like hammered gold and rendered all things new. Like a Colorado overflow down Congress Avenue. Round 10 traveling years is a mighty long, long while. When the long road stretches out ahead, a 500,000 miles. In a funky rock and roll bar, a man and a woman sat while the rain poured down with the dim, deep sound. But they paid no mind to that. They talked about the old songs they wrote fun lovers knew. They sang it to Roy Orbison and Ricky Nelson too. Round 10 traveling years is a mighty long, long while. When the long road stretches out ahead, a 500,000 miles. And when the sun come up next morning on the sinners and the saved, a pickup headed down the road toward Buddy Holly's grave. In the lonesome town of Lubbock, where Buddy's bones did lay, their hearts were cut with diamonds on that strange and fateful day. Round 10 traveling years is a mighty long, long while. When the long road stretches out ahead, a 500,000 miles. Round 10 traveling years is a mighty long, long while. When the long road stretches out ahead, 500,000 miles. When the long road stretches out ahead, 500,000 miles.
All the way in Norwich.
That song tells the story of us way back when we were first together, when we first got in Nancy Griffith's band, and we had been collaborating with her on the road in the studio, writing and just maintaining a friendship for, almost 30 years. And as many of you know, she passed away very recently, and it's affected us deeply. But lucky for all of us, we have her amazing body of songs that's always going to be there. And a few years ago, we recorded a whole live album of Nancy Griffith songs. And so we're going to do a couple of them for you right now. We're going to send this one down to all the folks down on the Gulf Coast. Gulf Coast Highway, he worked the rails, he worked the rice fields with their cool dark wells, he worked the oil rigs in the Gulf of Mexico. The only thing we've ever owned is this old house here by the road. When he dies, he says he'll catch some blackbird wing. He will fly away to heaven come some sweet blue-bonnet spring.
She walked through springtime when I was home. The days were sweet, the nights were warm. The seasons change, the jobs become, the flowers fade. This old house felt so alone when the work took him away. But when she dies, she says she'll catch some blackbird away. She will fly away to heaven come some sweet blue-bonnet spring.
Highway 90, the jobs are gone. We tend our garden, we set the sun. This is the only place on earth bluebonnets grow. Once a year they come and go to this old house here by the road. And when we die, we say we'll catch some blackbird away. We will fly away to heaven come some sweet blue-bonnet spring. So when we die, we say we'll catch some blackbird away. We will fly away together come some sweet blue-bonnet spring. Baby, I know that we've got trouble in the fields when the bankers swarm like locusts out there turning away our yield. The trains roll by our silos, silver in the rain, and leave our pockets full of nothing but our dreams and the golden grain. Have you seen the folks in line downtown at the station? They're all buying their tickets out and they're talking the Great Depression. Our parents had their hard times 50 years ago when they stood out in these empty fields clouds and dust as deep as snow. And all this trouble in our fields, if this rain can fall, these wounds can heal. They'll never take our native soil. But if we sell that new John Deere, then we work these crops with sweat and tears. You be the mule, I'll be the plow. Come harvest time, we'll work it out. There's still a lot of love here in these troubled fields. Come on, Pete. There's a book up on the shelf about those Dust Bowl days, and there's a little bit of you and a little bit of me in the photos on every page. Our children live in the city and they rest upon our shoulders. They never want the rain to fall or the weather to get colder. And all this trouble in our fields, if this rain can fall, these wounds can heal. They'll never take our native soil. And if we sell that new John Deere, then we work these crops with sweat and tears. You be the mule, I'll be the plow. Come harvest time, we'll work it out. There's still a lot of love here in these troubled fields. You be the mule, I'll be the plow. Come harvest time, we'll work it out. There's still a lot of love here in these troubled fields. Thank you. Two great songs by the singer-songwriter Nancy Griffith. Well, we're thinking about this weekend how great it is to be back. I can't tell you how great it is to actually hear applause, because for the past 18 months we've been. Thank you. Do it again. For the past 18 months, we've been, after we lost all of our gigs, like every musician did, we set up a weekly live stream that we broadcast every Sunday at 2 o'clock. And we're going to show this show on our Sunday live stream this week. We were going to try and do it live, but without the internet connection, we're taping it, and so you're all going to be on the TV tomorrow. But we thought about this weekend and what it means on so many different levels, including the obvious ones, and we thought that this show should be a set of healing songs. So that's what we're going to do today. We are playing twice tomorrow as well. But this is a new song. We wrote this during the pandemic, I think, and it's called Heal You. To see you there tomorrow and feel your breezes blow eternal off the mountains. I want your lakes and streams to sparkle and feed the oceans and the fertile fields and fountains. I want to heal you now. I want to heal you now. I want to heal you, heal you, heal you now. I want to heal you
those that come after. And if they listen, they will find me. I'll leave the birds their song, the children all their laughter. I want to heal you now. I want to heal you now. I want to heal you, heal. Can you sing that with us? I want to heal you now. I want to heal you now. I want to heal you now. For the air we breathe is sacred in our lungs. It's the song in our hearts, the prayer on our tongues. It sounds like I want to heal you now. I want to heal you now. I want to heal you, heal you now. I want to heal you now. I want to heal you now. I want to heal you, heal you now. I want to heal you now. I want to heal you now. I want to heal you, heal you
Thank you. This song is one that we think about a lot during this pandemic, especially during the lockdown part of it, when our only lifeline for so many people, especially those living alone, was the telephone. And this song is called I'll Come Over. Times are hard around you, and your heart, it's been breaking for a while. It takes so long to work it out, and it feels like you're crawling every mile. But there's comfort in the sadness of your deep melancholy smile. It's gonna take a long, long time of error and a try, but you don't have to face it alone. It's too much to handle, I know. Just pick up the phone, honey, I'll come over, love. Nothing but love. Your heavy heart needs nothing but love. when you thought your luck would never end. And everything was easier. And broken things couldn't mend. But you don't have to face it alone. It's too much to handle, I know. Just pick up the phone, honey, I'll come over. Love, nothing but love. Your heavy heart needs nothing but love. Love, no, you don't have to face it alone. It's too much to handle, I know. Just pick up the phone, honey, I'll come over. Love, nothing but I'll come over. Love needs nothing but I'll come over. Thank you. What a gorgeous day. It seems every time we play the Colorscape Shenango Festival, it's great weather.
Yeah.
It's just the luck that we have. Well, we were always hoping for a turning point, you know, and that's what this song is about. This is called A Bend in the River. Candles are burning in the midnight mission. The past is a flood, the future a fire. Your eyes are ablaze with a fire of wishing, but wishes aren't wings and prophets and liars. So draw on the water, your circle of magic, circle of magic, circle of dread. Slip from the banks as the waves take you under. A blanket of lilies covers your head. We come to this place, a bend in the river, seeking redemption, searching for grace. We come to the water, a bend in the river, seeking redemption, searching for grace. Lost souls haunt this bend in the river. Fallen gods breathe deep in the banks. Right till the waterfall roars the forgiver, and swim to the riverside, kneel and give
We've come to this
thanks. A bend in the river, seeking redemption, searching for grace. We come to the water, a bend in the river, seeking redemption, searching for grace. We come to this place, abandon the river, seeking redemption, searching for grace. We come to the water, abandon the river, seeking redemption, searching for grace. Thank you so much. Well, I mentioned our Sunday, weekly live stream show, and recently we started doing a contest with prizes, and we tied that into the release of Pete's brand new book. It's his first novel, and it's action adventure. We have some fans so the book is called Floodwood. In fact, the artwork on the book, it fits right in here with Colorscape. It was one of our weekly viewers, Jen Lennox from Vermont, did the artwork for this book. And it features all kinds of good stuff. A heroine who makes her own crossbows, and a werewolverine, and all kinds of, it's got everything, and it's a great summer read, I always say.
And the werewolf is the local librarian.
Yes, it's perfect. It's got everything.
Werewolf.
Anyway, so this book is called Floodwood, and Pete wrote it. Back in November, they said it was Write Your Own Novel Month, and Pete took it to heart.
So I did.
It took him a little bit longer than 1 month, but the book came out a few months ago, and then just a couple weeks ago, it came out as an audio book, and Pete read the book himself. It's always good to hear the author reading his own work. Out loud, he did it. He read it out loud. And he also composed original guitar music to serve as a kind of a soundtrack that's embedded in the audiobook. So we've been doing this trivia contest, and we pick 3 winners every week, and you can only win if you're in the chat room while the video goes by. But we're going to ask the question now for the folks who watch this, and I know that a lot of you know the answer, so I'm going to ask you not to shout it out, because 3 people who watch our show are going to win, and actually you can tune in and win yourself. So the question is, how many years has the Colorscape Shenango Arts Festival in Norwich, New York been happening? So the first 3 people who chat in the answer will get a free copy of Pete's audiobook. But for those of you who are here, we have hard copies of the audiobook over here in the CD and book tent, along with all of our records. So after we do our set, we're going to be back over there to say hello in a socially distanced and masked way. And we'll sign stuff for you if you like. But for right now, we're gonna pick up the pace a little bit with a song that's kind of a greeting, and it should make you feel good. It's in 3 languages too, so it's a sing along. Ready? Yeah. 1, 2, 3.
On a crowded city street or a garden path, when I meet with a tearful eye or a soulful laugh, I give the same greeting to everyone. It's really quite simple when it's said and done. Namaste, namaste, domo arigato, namaste, namaste. May you walk in peace, namaste, namaste, domo arigato. Acknowledge the divine in everyone you meet. Forgive, forget, protect, and reassure. Love's already there if your heart is
is pure. Even in dreams, you've got to be kind, 'cause flowers can grow in an open mind. Namaste, namaste, domo arigato, namaste, namaste. May you walk in peace, namaste, namaste, domo arigato. Acknowledge the divine in everyone you meet, yeah. So go out on a limb and take a chance. It ain't no heavy thing for your soul to dance. Hearts entwined, they sing like birds. You're well on your way when you say these words. Namaste, namaste, domo arigato, namaste, namaste. May you walk in peace, namaste, namaste, domo arigato. Acknowledge the divine in everyone you meet. Namaste, namaste, domo arigato, namaste, namaste. May you walk in peace, namaste, namaste, domo arigato. Acknowledge the divine in everyone you meet, yeah.
Now, if you have been to this festival before, or even if today is the first time, you probably already know who Ken Millay is. Ken is sort of the musical creative director here, and he lines up all of the bands. Now, and he also was the proprietor of the Night Eagle Cafe. And so he's central to the folk music scene here. I actually met Ken when I was in college. And that was a long time ago during the Pleistocene era. And my friends and I went to Boston College, and my friend said, we got to go down to the Fillmore East in New York to see Black Sabbath. It was college. It's the kind of thing you do.
That's pretty cool, Pete.
So we piled in the car, and we had $15 between us. We each had $5. And we drove down to New York City. We parked in the East Village, and when we went up to the door of the Fillmore East, a guy said, I can get you guys tickets for this show cheap. You just have to follow me to this tenement building a couple of blocks away. I don't know why we didn't just buy tickets at the door, but we
Because you only had $15 between the bunch of you.
yeah. So we gave the guy 10 of our $15, and my friend went into the tenement with him and came out 30 seconds later with a black eye and no money. The guy had ripped us off. I never heard of that happening in New York before, but it's the first time, I think. So
happens.
we had $5, enough to buy one ticket, and I came up with an idea. I said, look, guys, there's an alleyway behind the Fillmore East with an exit where people come out at the end of the show. I'll buy a ticket, I'll go in, and while Black Sabbath are playing, I'll just go over to this exit and open the door, and you guys can come in. This seemed like a great idea. So I did. I got in. It was Black Sabbath up there wailing away. And I immediately went over to, it was an old movie theater. I went over to the exit, and you know, they have those curtains around near the exit. As soon as I opened the curtain to go out the exit door, there was a huge guy. I was even smaller than I am now. There was a huge guy standing there, and without saying a word, he grabbed my collar with one hand, my belt with the other hand, pushed the door open with his shoulder, And my two friends who were waiting for me to let them in saw me come hurtling out the door, landing on a trash can, and the door slammed. The upshot of it all is that that security guard who picked me up and threw me out was Ken Millay. And we will now recreate that scene. You can see how he could easily do that.
Yeah. But he's like got a heart of gold though. Don't they say that? The
That
bouncer
was-
with the heart of gold. Ken Millay, y'all.
His job back then was to throw college students out the exit door of the Fillmore East if they went anywhere near it.
We're gonna do a couple more songs for you.
This is based on a book called The Dharma Bums by Jack Kerouac.
Fog was rolling in on the California coast. We caught a fast freight called the Midnight Ghost. We huddled in our blanket sharing coffee in a tin and thought about New York as the cold crept in. Working on our karma, take it as it comes. Spinning out the dharma in the cold gray sun. The wind is always with us when we need it the most. Riding shotgun on a train called the Midnight Ghost. They call the ghost a zipper and zip along she can. 80 miles an hour on the straightaway, man. Heading up to Frisco for the pleasure of the ride. We'll sleep out on the beach, out of reach of the tide. Working on our karma, take it as it comes. Spinning out the dharma in the cold gray sun. The wind is always with us when we need it the most. Riding shotgun on a train called the Midnight Ghost. Don't blame me.
Pete Kennedy.
I used to be a brakeman and I drew long pay. I left it all behind just to live this way. So settle in your bedroll and I'll pass you the wine, just to warm the soul as we roll down the line. Working on our karma, take it as it comes. Spinning out the dharma in the cold gray sun. The wind is always with us when we need it the most. Riding shotgun on a train called the Midnight Ghost. Ooh.
Pete Kennedy on that guitar. Woo-hoo.
A little bit of a bluegrass vibe.
We're going to do one more song for you, and after the show, we're going to be over at the record and book booth there to say hello, sign some stuff for you if you like. And I just want to remind you that we do our live streams every Sunday, and if you want to get on our mailing list, we will send you the link on how to sign up, watch our shows. It's 1 hour every Sunday. It's a really great gathering, and a lot of good stuff goes on in the chat room. People start to know each other after a while. It's just a very cool place to hang once a week. And we often end our shows with this song. It's one of our songs that we wrote, and we always dedicate it to all the frontline workers. Hands up if you're a frontline worker. I'm talking nurses, cops, fire people, janitors. You're being modest. Well, I applaud you all, and thank you for keeping us all safe. And the name of this song is Safe Until Tomorrow, and that's our wish for you.
You watched the fire burn on the hillside. Thought you were safe until the flames were at your door. And later on, the bitter rains brought on a landslide so hard to fight a foe you've never seen before. If we can only keep you safe until tomorrow, I promise you there'll be 10,000 better days. I do believe that you believe the things you thought you heard and saw, the things that made your heart beat like 1,000 drums. If we could only keep you safe until tomorrow comes. Bury your suspicion like a battle scar. Laugh at my superstition, dance upon the crack. Sometimes I wonder where it is you think you are. Sometimes I wonder if you're ever coming back. If we can only keep you safe until tomorrow, I promise you there'll be 10,000 better days. I do believe that you believe the things you thought you heard and saw, the things that made your heart beat like 1,000 drums. If we can only keep you safe until tomorrow comes. I know it's so hard to trust a pathway made of crumbs, but we'll show you the way. If we can only keep you safe until tomorrow, I promise you there'll be 10,000 better days. I do believe that you believe the things you thought you heard and saw, the things that made your heart beat like 1,000 drums. If we can only keep you safe until tomorrow comes, until tomorrow comes.
Thank you all so much from the Kennedys.
Thank you, Colorscape.
Please stay safe and have a great weekend. Stay tuned for Vance Gilbert.
We hope you enjoyed our live festival stage set. It was exciting to be back in front of an audience again. And Next week, we're going to be back at our usual spot in our apartment in Tarrytown, New York. And it's going to be a special show because you won't believe this, but in the 18 months we've been doing this, next week we will reach our 700th different song played. So the way we do our landmark shows is you send us your requests. You can do it in the chat, although you don't have a whole lot of time to do it because we're almost done with the show here today. Or you can put it in the comments below the video or email us and let us know what songs you want to hear. They should be different songs than we've played before because we got to reach the 700. I think we've played 698 songs so far. So get your requests in. We're going to draw them out of the drum and play them. And whoever song we draw for the 700th song, you will win a prize. We don't know what it'll be yet. It'll be different than our trivia question prizes, though. So we hope you'll join us next week. And until then, please take care of yourself.